Thank you. Commissioner Zuber, will you call the roll, please?
Certainly. Commissioner Acharya is absent. Commissioner Bennett?
Here.
Commissioner Eggenberger? Here. Commissioner Engel?
Here.
Commissioner Graham-Hudak is absent. Commissioner Okan is absent. Commissioner Perkins? Here. Commissioner Zuber here, and Chairman Green.
I am here, and of course, we have our community planners, Jeff Goulet, and,
The cast of characters.
what?
An entire cast of characters over there. Wow, they've almost filled up that whole bench.
Yeah,
That's-
what goes on tonight? Man,
Yeah.
we've got complete staff here. We've got Brad Sharp and John LaFever. We welcome everybody, though.
And
We
Patrick,
welcome the audience. We welcome the people that are ultimately seeing this at home. And we hope that you'll get something out of tonight's meeting. We do have 3 items to discuss tonight, but before we get to that, we want to talk about what happened on October 7th. We have meetings from that meeting. Do I hear a motion to accept those minutes?
So moved.
Support. All right, got a motion by Commissioner Zuber and support by Commissioner Engel concerning the minutes of October 7. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Again, we have an agenda tonight of 3 items. Anything late from staff?
No, sir.
Add? Anything late to add from the commission? Hearing none, seeing none, do I hear a motion to accept the agenda tonight?
So moved.
All right, we got a motion by Commissioner Zuber and support by Commissioner Perkins. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, getting right into it. Our first item tonight, well, the first 2 items are public hearings. Public hearings are, as the name describes, just that. The public is invited to comment, question, et cetera, on those particular projects when those projects come up. We do ask that you fill out our form on the dais there and state your name and address and your question or concern when the time comes to do that. The first item tonight is the Greatland Real Estate rezoning. It is right behind the Canton Animal Hospital on Michigan Avenue. It's between Sheldon and Morton Taylor Road. Jeff, could you give us more detail?
Yes, the applicant is proposing to rezone the subject property as shown on the aerial here south of Michigan Avenue on Willard Street from light industrial to C2 Community Commercial District. C2 is the zoning along the frontage of Michigan Avenue. They own all of the property. They currently operate the existing animal hospital just along Michigan Avenue to the north of the subject property. So their intent is they want to expand the animal hospital, and to do that, they need commercial zoning instead of industrial zoning. This area is designated mixed use on our master plan, so it allows for some flexibility in zoning along the Michigan Avenue corridor. So, we do have different depths of commercial zoning along this side. So one of the benefits of this is most of the properties along the south side of Michigan Avenue are fairly shallow. So to allow, the mixed use area would allow the expansion of that south to allow for those properties to get greater utilization with the property they own. The alleys and things in this area, some of the streets and alleys have been vacated. One of the things they'll have to do is, there's usually utility easements through the alley. Since they own both sides of the alley, they own that vacated alley, but they will have to retain easements, especially if there's a sanitary sewer easement there. There's probably aerial Detroit Edison lines through there. They're going to have to work on either relocating utilities or something. So they were advised of that before they made applications. So I'm not sure how that's going to work with expanding the animal hospital. They may not be able to add an addition directly to the building, but they might be able to build a new building behind it or do some others. So we'll deal with that when the site plan comes around. But given the zoning and the land use patterns around it, the zoning is not an issue, and we would recommend approval.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, move to open the public hearing.
Okay, we got a motion to open the public hearing by Commissioner Zuber and support by Commissioner Perkins. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 5 after,
7.
it says 8 up there. 5 after 7. Boy, that threw me for a loop there. We're still on daylight savings.
Yes, apparently.
The meeting is open. So we're going to start with the audience. And on this project, Are there any concerns, any questions for the commission or for the planners? Anything at all?
And the applicant is here if they want to come up to the podium. so-
Pardon?
The applicant is here if they'd like to come up to the
Oh,
podium.
okay,
so.
yes. Do you want to come up to the podium and add anything that you'd like to say on the project?
Yes, sir. I know that there was a question asked that how it's going to be done. The present hospital is very small, less than, I would say, 2,000 square feet. Our surgery room and post-treatment after the surgery is very tight. So we are planning to have all the exams done on the existing hospital, but when we perform surgery and do the treatment, we could build something on the back, a little bit more open, and some, rehabilitation facilities for the dogs, so they could be recover fast with additional new techniques coming up in the veterinary industry.
Do you plan to tear down the existing building and redo an entire building, or is this?
It's not the plan right now, because we have to go with the engineer and sit with him and see how we could best utilize that. Typically, what happens is that when anyone brings in the animal, we do the exam. Then we suggest the surgery if we need to get it done. And sometime after the surgery, you have to go through the rehab process, which is like water therapy and those kind of things, which need more space. The existing facility cannot provide those. So we may build a separate building just for that, surgeries, x-ray room, treatment, and rehabilitation for them.
So this is going to be an increase in services, not necessarily an increase in patients?
Yeah, increasing in services. Right now, what we do is we have a sister clinic in Ypsilanti. We send our dogs for surgeries and treatments in Ypsi. So that is kind of like taking sick dogs into cars and transporting there is kind of hassle. So if we have the facility on site, which is just next adjoining to the building, or even if it's not connected, it's much easier. The doctor doesn't have to go there and then come back. So it will be just the same facility. He can just go walk in there, perform the surgery, come and do the exams there.
Are any of the surgeries less, or I should say, out of the usual realm? Are there surgeries performed that you don't see done anywhere else, or your surgery is going to be pretty
We
typical?
perform all surgeries other than neuro surgeries, which is basically mostly the bone surgeries, which require a long therapy rehabilitation so they can recover fast and provide, they can get well soon.
Yeah, the reason I ask is I'm a dog pet owner, and we had to drive all the way to Flint for a particular surgery technique, and it's,
We perform all those top-end surgery. We're not board certified, but Dr. Daliwal, which is owns that clinic, he performs more surgeries than board certified. And the people come to him from like Canada and other states by going on his website, and and he is very expert in that.
anybody have any questions or anything? No? I'm the only one, huh? Okay, all right.
You've entertained us well.
You want me to get up and dance, too?
Yes,
Um,
as a matter of fact.
Anyone from the audience have any questions? Okay. Do I hear a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing.
All right, got a motion to close the public hearing at 11 after 7 by Commissioner Zuber and support by Commissioner Perkins. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, back to the commission. Anything at all on this? Any concerns? Jeff, are they going to be required to pave Willard up to the property line?
We'll look at the site plan when it comes in. It depends on whether or not they can connect the existing parking lot to the new facility without having to enter Willard. If they have to enter Willard, we'll need a traffic evaluation to determine whether or not it needs to be paved.
Now, all other ordinances would apply, including they would have to put a sidewalk in and all of that?
Yes.
Help me understand, the south side says it's L1, which is vacant and non-conforming single-family homes? What is that?
Well, if you look at the aerial, we have, this is called Dye Brothers subdivision. So many years ago, post-World War, we had a lot of post-World War houses in this subdivision that over the years went into a state of disrepair. So a lot of the houses have been purchased up through CDBG funds and other things and removed, back in the early 80s. So there's still a few, you'll see a few rooftops here. You'll see like one house just to the south here is still sitting there. They're non-conforming single family. So if they were ever removed, they can't be rebuilt under light industrial zoning. So they can continue to be there as long as they're, continue to be occupied as a house. They just can't be rebuilt, or you can't build any houses in this area. So the township owns a good portion of the land south, the south portion of Dye Brothers, that we purchased many years ago. We picked up tax reversions in here, but a lot of the property up near Michigan Avenue is actually owned by the people who own the frontage along Michigan Avenue. A lot of them own property. When L. George's came in to expand their parking lot, they purchased property from the township to expand their parking lot further south, those kinds of things. So it's one of those kind of areas which is a difficult transition because it's, we got utilities in there. Most of the roads are not paved in there. So it's kind of like almost an undeveloped subdivision, so.
So are there still occupied homes in there?
A few,
Chairman, I move to recommend approval of the request to rezone the subject parcels from LI Light Industrial to C2 Community Commercial District.
Support.
All right, I have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Engel and support by Commissioner Zuber. Any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none and seeing none. Commissioner Zuber, would you call the vote on this, please?
Sure. Commissioner Bennett?
Yes.
Commissioner Eggenberger?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Zuber, yes, and Chairman Green.
Yes. The motion carries from us, and we'll go to the trustees. What's the timing on that?
This will go for first reading to the township trustees at the end of the month, so, and then final reading in December.
Good luck with that, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Our second agenda item for the night is the Canton Banquet and Convention Center. This is property which is located south of Michigan Avenue and east of Lots Road. Jeff, could you tell us more?
Yes, sir. This is a project located on 8.35 acres. Let's get to the zoning map here. I think it's out of order. There we go. This 8.35 acres, east side of Lots Road, south of Michigan Avenue. It kind of abuts the hotel to the north and the McDonald's property to the kind of north and east. It's kind of just to the east and south of the Holiday Inn Express. You approved a couple of years ago. Across the street from this site, you approved some other hotel complexes that haven't, got built. So those, will have to come back in. But this site has been zoned light industrial for a long time. It was originally planned for warehouse use. So the Manikin Smith Group are working with the owners to develop a large-scale banquet facility. It's 39,600 square feet, includes, large banquet rooms on the first floor, includes a mezzanine with, brides and grooms rooms and offices. It has an outdoor event plaza for use for like outdoor weddings and other things associated with the indoor banquet space. What I wanted to, from our standpoint, we kind of looked at traffic. Lots Road was paved under an SAD a number of years ago. There's not a whole lot of traffic. It got the landfill to the south. So most of the traffic, is concentrated up near Michigan Avenue. And with the Michigan Avenue Boulevard, there's not a whole lot you can do with that. You turn right, you go down, you make a U-turn, those kinds of things. So the level of service on Michigan Avenue, due to the amount of traffic near the interchange, is not real great, but there's really not a whole lot we can do with it because it's already developed, to the greatest extent it can. There's not a whole lot of improvements you can do to it. The state will have to look at to optimize, the operation of Michigan Avenue through light timing and those kinds of things. So in this particular case, what we were concerned with was whether they had enough parking and those kinds of things to support the size of the facility. Some of our questions that we had were, how are the rooms going to be utilized? Are they going to be, are the upstairs rooms going to be dedicated to certain uses, or are they going to be used during the day for meeting rooms and those kinds of things? And really, they're ancillary uses to support the banquet facilities downstairs. So the parking, is based on standard, banquet kind of uses based on the maximum occupancy, based on the type of use you're going to have in that room. So we made sure that they had enough parking on the site to support, concurrent use of the facilities, where it was full at all time. So, Bill and the applicants are here tonight to answer any questions and to explain the project in more detail. What I'll do is they'll talk, I'll move to the right slides as they talk. The conceptual site plan is in your packet. Depending on what the final elevation design is, in industrial zoning, you may not necessarily get the site plan back unless they need a modification. So depending on the building materials they ultimately choose, you may or may not see it back again. They've given you a flavor of how they want it to look, a little bit more contemporary feel to it. But we haven't done the site plan review and determination of all the building materials at this point. As you can see on the site, they will be basically developing the site out stem to stern, so there will be a substantial amount of tree removal on this site. I doubt whether or not they will be able to fit all of the replacement trees back on site, but we'll figure that out when we get the tree survey. So I'll turn it over to the applicants, and you can open the public hearing and hear what they have to say about their facility.
Thank you, Jeff.
Chairman, I move to open the public hearing. Sorry.
Right. Well, you jumped the gun on that one, yeah. We have a motion to open the public hearing by Commissioner Zuber and support by Commissioner Bennett. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so the project sponsor, who's the project sponsor? Hello.
Hi, how are you
Welcome.
tonight?
Good.
Thank you for your time. I'm Bill Knight from the Manick Smith Group.
Okay.
So as Jeff mentioned, yes, this is a proposed banquet and convention center. Get the, so yeah, it's, the acreage, it's about 8 acres. It is fairly wooded. We did do a tree survey, so we will be removing, as you can see, it's developed pretty much to the edges, so we will be removing quite a few trees to fit the facility on the site. You come in off of Lots Road, so service will be to the back side of the facility. In front, there will be a portico, drop-off, covered portico, and a place out in front with a fountain and planters where people can come and take pictures and whatnot before an event here out in front. So the owner's planning on putting a real nice feature out in front there. There will be 3 entrances, the main entrance in front, in the center, and then 2 secondary ones on each side. And there will be 2 outdoor patios. One will be on the south, will be a smaller outdoor patio, and the one to the left will be an outdoor event plaza where you can have outdoor weddings if need be. The goal here is to build the entire shell and then finish off the mezzanine and the pre-function area in front and the center phase 1 and the kitchen and storage. And then and then phase 2 and phase 3 will be developed after phase 1 is up and operating. So the entire shell, the entire building will be constructed, but phase 2 and phase 3 will be just that. There'll be phases. Here's the flavor of the building. It is fairly contemporary looking. It's going to be metal and tile and stone. So you can see as it's labeled, and lots of glass. So Bill's planning on building a high-end facility here. So Bill, you want to say anything? This is Bill Baines. He's the owner, developer, Canton resident.
Okay, and while he's coming up, I have a question for Jeff. So if we don't see this as a site plan review, we won't be able to go over the materials and things of that nature? Like
Only if they need a building material modification, based on the way this is laid out right now, they'd have to come back to you for a building material modification because it doesn't meet the 50% masonry requirement, because they're using metal and glass and some other materials. So they'll massage that, but this is the flavor of what they want it to be. You can always place a condition on the approval that you want to see the site plan back, but only if you have some type of objection that you want to make sure they come back and
Well, I just kind of
address.
wanted
Yeah.
to see the materials, but I didn't expect to see them tonight. I just thought if
Right.
we're going to go through a site plan in the future, we would actually get material boards or something like
Well,
that.
it's an industrial zone,
Okay.
so the only reason they're before you tonight, because this is a use that's required by special approval in the industrial zone. If it was like commercial property, yeah, you'd see it back as a site plan, but it's not it's a light industrial zone.
And the tree issues, I know the township has some legal remedies for that. There's a cost associated with trees that are not replaced, in case you cannot replace them on the site. Is there a provision that they could replace them elsewhere in the township?
They either replace them on site or they can opt to pay into the tree fund if they can't replace them on site. Okay.
Welcome. Hello.
Bill and Bill.
I'm sorry,
the
could
owner
you
of-
speak into the
Closer
microphone?
to the
sorry.
mic.
You don't have to lean down, it'll pick you up, but you have to be
Sure.
closer. There you
I'll
go.
make sure he doesn't fall.
Yeah,
I don't want to fall.
no, please.
My name is Bill Baines, and I'm the owner of this project. I live in city of Canton for the last 15 years. My wife, Simi, and we raised 3 kids in the city of Canton, a beautiful community. And we own a business beside this one. We are a developer of industrial, residential, commercial. And we've been thinking about this project for the past 4 or 5 years. And what a better place than Canton community to develop something like that. And we are very excited, and we are looking for your approval today, and so that we can start this and offer to this community to enjoy for the next many, many years.
Okay, all right, very good, thank you. We have opened the public hearing, so once again, if there's any comments or concerns from the audience, now's the time to do that. Come on up, sir.
Evening.
Hello.
My name is Tej Raval, and I'm with the Mannequin Smith Group. Besides him coming to Mannequin Smith Group and telling us he wants to develop his property, I'm also a Canton resident and in support, I think, of this project. I think it'd be great if we have something like this in Canton.
What's your Canton address?
6965 Ardsley Drive, Canton. So I have a daughter.
Yeah, just go ahead and fill out one of those
Yeah,
cards
we
on
need
the
you to
back
fill out-
counter.
fill one
so
of those
before you
out.
leave.
Sorry?
Yeah, and fill one of those out and leave it
yeah,
for
will.
the staff.
Okay.
There's slips on the back counter you can fill out. And we just want to have your name and address for the record for the
Sure,
minutes.
absolutely. Yes, I was just going to say that I'm in support of this project. I think it's going to be a great addition to Canton. His property is by that hotel, the Holiday Inn. And I think at some point, considering it's a high class, it will be a high class facility. I think it's going to attract a lot of outside traffic in terms of a lot of events and things like that. And I think it's going to be beneficial for Canton in the long run. So I just wanted to put my comment out there.
Size-wise, how does this, your proposed facility relate to like Burton Manor or Laurel Manor, the local banquet facilities?
As I said, we've been working on this project for quite some time, and we did a lot of benchmarking and the other facilities which are out there. And unfortunately, nothing new has been built in our community. And the Burton Manor that you just mentioned, I think that's a nice place, but it's pretty dated. And so I don't think this will compare. I cannot compare this with Burton Manor. Burton Manor has its own charm, but I think this will be very
Well, I was
unique.
thinking mostly about size and like capacity for events. Because I know that in the past, there have been things, like with the Chamber of Commerce and whatnot, that they've had to leave the community to go to some of the other places to have their events. And I always thought that was a shame. And I'm hoping that this, will take some of that kind of traffic.
Sure, absolutely. I came from Indian heritage, and we have a big weddings. And unfortunately, we have to go and travel a distance to find a venue where we can accommodate 800, 1,000, 1,200 people. And so this facility can expand between the three banquet halls to attract those type of events. And it's not only limited to banquet and weddings. We also can accommodate other business events as well.
So you expect to perhaps have daytime use as well as evening use going forward if this goes?
Primarily, it will be the evening events, but wherever there's a possibility, we would like to have during the day events as well. And as I said in the beginning, it will have a lot of economic impact on this area, along with the new employment opportunity, which we are estimating about between 100 to 125 new jobs. So very exciting.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between full-time and part-time. Yeah.
I really like this. I think it would be really nice to see in Canton. Usually you see these things in some of the other towns and, Livonia. And for people not to have to travel out of our township to have a wedding, go to a convention center, anything like that would be a benefit. And I see there's also some hotels, which you had the support of, which I think is great. Whenever you have a wedding, you don't want your family having to, well, here's the hotel, it's 5 miles down the road, but, I printed directions on the back of your invite, So to have these two that are so close by, maybe offering blocks of rooms for a wedding party or something like that, I think that could also help our, Canton community as well. So I really like this. I'd be pleased to see this in that area.
I totally agree that I think this will be a really nice project. So thank you for risking it to put it together. Yeah.
As I said, we've been here in this community for 15 years, and we are not going for the next 30 years. So that's our home.
Good.
Yeah, we want to build it, something very special people can cherish.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the audience? Okay.
Get extra credit in civics if you stand up and speak,
I motion to close the public hearing.
Support.
All right, we've got a motion to close the public hearing by Commissioner Engel and support by Commissioner Bennett. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, once again to the commission, anything to add? I agree with Commissioner Bennett, which was the purpose of my questions. Quite honestly, when I saw this in our packet, I went, yes. Because for years, I've thought we need to have a banquet center and a substantial one. And I always thought Michigan Avenue was the perfect place for it. And I see that you found a very, very good location. I am very much in support of this. Even, and I'll say this right now, even if you don't have brick on the building.
Whoa. That's on television,
No, actually, because I was looking at, the reason I was curious about the materials samples, because it's like, oh my gosh, this is like your maintenance-free building here. Everything's all metallic, but it looks great. I
You
mean,
want to
this
see
is
it
just
back,
a
I'll have
drawing.
them back, and they can give you some building material samples.
I think it looks really nice.
Yeah, absolutely it does.
Yeah.
So, well,
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I move to recommend approval of the request for special land use for a banquet facility on parcel number 141990027-713, as the proposal meets the general criteria for special land use.
Support.
all right, we have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Engel and support by Commissioner Zuber. All in, Commissioner Zuber, would you call the vote, please?
Certainly. Commissioner Bennett?
Yes.
Commissioner Eggenberger?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Zuber, yes, and Chairman Green.
Very definitely yes. So,
Thank you.
Good luck.
what's
Appreciate it.
what's the future
looking
schedule on
forward
this
to it.
one?
Yeah, this will go to the board at the end of the month also.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our third agenda item tonight is a site plan, Copper Park, where we're considering site plan approval for a public park. This property is located north of Coppernick Road and east of I-275. Patrick, could you tell us more?
Sure, thank you. The proposal for Copper Park is from the Canton Township Leisure Services Department. And the park will be a public park on the north side of Coppernick Road adjacent to the Northgate Apartments. The reason this is before the Planning Commission is because the Michigan Planning Enabling Act requires the Planning Commission to review proposals for new parks. Copper Park is relatively small. It's about 1/4 of an acre, and it will consist of playground equipment, a shade structure, and benches. The park will be accessed through Shaw Lane, which is an existing road constructed as part of Northgate Apartments. The park will have 4 parking spaces, and there is additional off-street parking located nearby on the west side of Shaw Lane. The park will drain into the existing adjacent drainage system of the Northgate Apartment site to the north and to the east, and the township engineer has approved the proposed topography and drainage design of the site. The eastern boundary of the park will be located about 45 feet west of the Holiday Park subdivision to the east. So there will be a 45-foot buffer between the single-family homes to the east and the park itself. The park will be surrounded by a 4-foot-high fence. The last item of this review is the landscaping. The approved site plan for Northgate Apartments included several trees located in the area now proposed for Copper Park. Although there are 9 trees proposed in Copper Park, Northgate Apartments will be required to plant the additional trees that it's required to in its site plan in other areas of Northgate Apartments, notably to the north and to the east of Copper Park to provide additional buffering from between the park and the neighboring residences to the east. So that concludes our review of the plan, and we also have representatives from the Leisure Services Department to answer your questions.
Thank you, Patrick. And would you gentlemen like to come up or just talk from right there?
Yeah, we're happy to be here. It's been a number of years since Leisure Services has been able to come before you and present a project. So the fact that we're building and developing something new is exciting for us. It's been a long time since Canton has added a park to its community. It's in the northeast quadrant of the township, which for us has been a long goal to establish a presence there. It's been kind of one of the larger needs that we've identified for some time from a service standpoint. We hope to only continue that and have more of a presence kind of on the northeast side of town. So this was a great spot. It was a great opportunity for us when the developer kind of approached us as far as use of that land. It's a great location, as mentioned, near a neighborhood. So we're really looking forward to developing again. Some of the funds were used from the sale of property that was reserved for green space. So we thought the board was very intuitive with their deferral of some money to help us do that. It's also a CDBG project, so we're going to be able to use funds for that as well. We went through quite the public input process to get some feedback on what kind of amenities would be there. Through that process, and the size of the park really was kind of deemed it'd be best used as kind of a tot lot, if you will. And that's why the fencing around it, as a parent of a young child, it's kind of a sense of security when you know your child can't run off in a number of different directions. So the fence is going to kind of incorporate at least 3 sides plus part of the park there. So that's kind of the reason for that. It'll be more of a decorative function, but also a safety for small children to not be able to run off into the road or anywhere nearby. So that was the reason for the fence there.
Where are the monkey bars?
Yeah, this is going to be newer features than we're used to having here in Canton, just based on the timeline. So
I think I'm dating myself.
yeah, we're looking forward to kind of the possibilities that this park will present for us.
Okay. Anything from the commission on this project?
No, I think it looks great. I just want to make sure that last time a park came in front of us, we were sold a bag of goods, if you guys remember. That they were telling us there was going to be something, and then it turns out there wasn't. So, and I'd gotten all excited about it. So I want to make sure when I look at these, and you guys
We did as well.
labeled, so you know
Yes,
what I'm
yes,
talking about,
yeah,
yeah. That it's really all going to go. You guys have it all set and planned, paid for. We're going to get it there. It's just not going to be a bunch of grass.
Yeah, no, we're very confident, very excited. We've come quite a ways in this project. So the funding is there. Everything else is lined up. So yes, we're moving forward. This
Great.
won't be in that situation like that.
That looks wonderful. I think it'll be great fun for the kids. Thank you.
Yeah, this is actually property, when we did the conditional zoning for Northgate Apartments, this was property that was just reserved as open space near the entrance. So when the board and the township supervisor was looking for, a place to put a park, this, because the developer wasn't actually putting in a playground or anything as part of that. So this was, let's make a deal, how much can we get the parkland for? We'll build the park, you provide some of the other amenities and access to the park. They're taking care of the stormwater and the other things as they normally would have as part of the apartments. So we're just kind of, the property's been split and purchased already by the township board, so we'll be splitting it off from the apartment. So it will be a township-owned and operated park, so.
This be maintained by our Township Parks Department then, one of their
Yeah,
regularly
this would be
maintained sites?
regularly part of our maintenance program. Yep.
There's not a whole lot to maintain here. The only grass is up by Coppernick Road. The rest of it is all synthetic turf, so.
I was joking about the monkey bars. I really was excited to see the grasshopper spring rider. That was really something that was important to me.
You can take your dog up there. maybe.
Okay, do I hear a motion coming?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the site plan for Copper Park on tax parcel number 004-99002-701.
Okay, all right. We have a motion by Commissioner Zuber and support by Commissioner Eggenberger. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Good luck. All right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Well, I think that about does it tonight. We do have a public hearing to set for December 2nd. It's concerning the Fillmore Place, property located north of Michigan and west of Beck. Do I hear a motion to set that public hearing?
So moved.
All right, got a motion by Commissioner Zuber and support by Commissioner Perkins. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Anything to talk about, Jeff? Patrick, anything?
No, our one planner, landscape architect, Lee Thurston, who's been with us for 16 years, will be retiring at the end of the year.
No way.
So we will need to plan a little soiree for her
Yes,
before
you
the end of the year.
better let us
so,
know.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
But we have actually quite a few things coming in. They're just not ready for public hearing, or they're not ready for prime time yet. So Fillmore Place is actually a large project. We'll probably have a lot of discussion on that next month. We may have a couple more general business items. Not sure yet, so. Well, people watch you all the time.
Know that
so.
if you were here more often.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn,
Oh, why would you want to do that?
Support.
so we can get off prime time.
We should have done
Gotta watch Monday Night Football? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay,
Julia
we
doesn't-
are adjourned.
So next
Thank you,
meeting is
folks.
December.